right?
Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all that heavenly glory.
So let's just say that I make my own simulation.
GOAD Podcast.
All right, GOAD Podcast. We are
GOAD Podcast.
We are live. Josh has already taken the first move on.
Well, that was last week.
Even that's a violation.
The last time.
White goes first. You know it.
Yeah, but you were too scared to go, so I had to go.
I see what you're doing. Why does white always get to go first? Right? Why? Why can't it be a flip of the coin?
I don't know. Ask the Russians.
Why can't it just be fair? Russians are racist. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I know some very, very nice Russians. Look, you know who I'm talking about. I can't say their names because I'm not totally sure
if they're Russian,
that they're not spies.
Oh, so you know they're Russian though?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I haven't talked to him for a couple of years, but I know like a master plumber guy that is a great Russian dude.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
funny.
Da.
Da.
Isn't that how you say yes in Russian?
I have no idea.
Da.
Oh, wow.
You have to say it with a scowl. Da.
Da.
Like you're mad. Yes.
Oh, you have to.
Well, it's Russian. Everything they say is with a scowl or drunk.
That is so funny.
Dude, on
vodka, right?
I would love to go to Russia. I think it's an insult if you don't take a shot of vodka with them or something. I think it is.
Well, probably because that's their culture.
Yeah, it's like Germans too. If you go to Germany and they offer you a beer, you should.
If you're gonna go to Russia and as a missionary,
yeah. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. I was thinking the same thing.
If it's wrong, or if they take offense to not shooting a shot of vodka with them, what do you do?
I do a shot of vodka with them. That's.
Just to reach them.
Well, I was thinking of the same thing. I knew a guy who was a missionary to Germany, and Germans are all about their beer, you know. And then somebody in the class had asked the guy. He goes, "Hey," and this is Calvary Chapel, so yeah, you ain't drinking,
right?
And Chuck was alive at the time. God bless you, Chuck. Rest in peace. But Chuck was alive at the time. There ain't none of that happening, right? So He's a missionary in Germany. And the guys are asking him, and they're going, hey, so it's so culturally appropriate to have a beer over there. Do you drink beer with them in order to build like inroads to share the gospel? And you could tell the guy was so uncomfortable. And I'm thinking in my head, dude, just say yes. Yes. Heck yes. If I'm going to Germany, dude, I don't have a drinking problem. I'm not an alcoholic. It's not going to make me stumble. And some guy's going to let me discuss Jesus with them over a beer or not at all. I'm drinking the beer.
Probably.
For sure. For sure. Russian dude comes up and says, hey, we cannot talk unless you drink vodka. I'm freaking drinking the vodka. I want you saved.
Right. Sometimes you would have to.
And I'm not getting drunk.
And we've talked about it before. Like if you go to some, remote, village and their whole thing is about, hey, eat this and we can talk.
Right.
If you don't eat it, they're going to take offense to it.
Exactly.
And then you're not going to share the gospel with them.
Dude, you know my stance on mayonnaise.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If somebody asks me, hey, I'll let you share the gospel. I'll sit here and talk Jesus with you for a half an hour if you eat the spoon of mayo.
You're eating the mayo.
I would eat the mayo.
I can see how disappointed you are.
Dude, it's like Jonah. But unlike Jonah, I love the guy so much I would eat the mayo.
Right.
Right. If I genuinely believe, like, if he's just screwing with me, I'm gonna be like, I'm not gonna eat the mayo. That's gross. But if the guy was genuinely lost, hurting, needed salvation, yeah, dude, I'll eat your freaking mayo, dude.
That's crazy, though, because the Ninevites were Assyrians, right?
Yeah, they're Assyrians.
So, and then the Assyrians, when they took Jerusalem captive, they pulled them by hooks
Later, yeah.
in their jaws.
Yeah, it was a couple generations later.
So just imagine how Jonah felt.
Dude, well, Jonah happened probably a generation or two before Assyria came and took Israel captive.
No, but they did before.
They had, I mean, they were always like
They
that
did it.
spur.
It was twice.
But Assyria, yeah, Jonah was, dude, I dare you guys to get on there and go, I'm like a modern day Jonah.
You're going to run away from
right,
God?
Yeah, right. Well, I've had people say that. We were talking about that in our men's group this morning. We were talking about,
That's
the
kind of
guys.
funny.
I've met guys that go, oh, yeah, I'm writing a book about how I'm a modern day Jonah. I resisted my calling, and, I feel like God brought me back to my calling. I'm like, oh, so Jonah, the guy who wanted all the Ninevites to die. Like, he wanted them judged. He wanted them dead. God said, go, preach the gospel to them. He knew God would cause repentance. He knew it.
Yeah, that's
Jonah-
crazy. Yeah,
Jonah
he
knew
knew
they
it.
would get saved. And he ran the other way. Modern day Jonah. And I've never met a modern day Jonah.
I would not want to call myself that.
No.
That's not a good name to call yourself.
It's not flattering.
Even if it's a book that you're writing yourself. I would not publish that.
I wouldn't read it.
A modern day Jonah? That's kind of sad.
I would read a book if you got on and you said, hey, I wrote this book about being a modern day Jonah, and I pressed you on the idea of Jonah being a petulant child, not wanting these people to repent. Mm-hmm. And if you looked at me and said, oh, yeah. Yeah. God asked me to go and preach to these people. I hated them so badly, I ran the other way. I was praying for their death and their punishment.
And when God did save the person, I was still bitter.
Yeah, and when God violated my free will, sucked me up into a fish, spit me out on the beach, and said, now go do what I told you to.
Oh, man. That's crazy because the Ninevites, Assyrians, their god was a fish.
Yeah, got spit out on the beach by a fish. Go, all right, so you're going to go repent? And they all repent, and what's he do? Just what you just said, right?
Get all bitter.
He's all just sitting out by the beach under a tree just going, what did we do here?
A tree that withered
Yeah,
by a worm.
yeah.
God fashioned the worm to eat them.
So funny.
Eat the tree.
He's like, the worm, you care about the worm, you care about the tree, you care about this. You don't care about the Ninevites.
You don't care about the Ninevites.
You don't care about the Ninevites.
Man, that's pretty harsh. Yeah, I would not want to be known as a person, as a modern day Jonah.
No.
Like, not even a book. I'd be like something like a redemption of Jonah or something,
Yeah.
Something better, something more catching. Like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I was a Jonah, but at the same time, the Lord really called me, and He really changed my heart about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, think about all the prophets at that time, in and around that. Well, think of all the prophets.
Man.
Right?
Jeremiah
Jeremiah goes his whole life. Right? I mean,
and nobody gets saved.
nobody. He says, he tells Ezekiel, you're going to lay on your side for like 3 months or something and eat food out of poop.
490 days, but that was
Yeah.
actually years.
And then you're going to flip over on the other side, do it again.
For another, what was it, 30 days or
Yeah.
something like that?
All these, so great.
Well, I mean, think of it. Even Jeremiah, the Lord told him, hey, you know what? Go put a yoke on and go talk to the priests and say, you know what? The yoke that I hold is nothing compared to the iron of yoke that you're going to hold when these
Right.
people come. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Oh, and Isaiah, how he told him to walk naked.
Dude, hey, Isaiah, check this out, dude. I'm going to need you to wander around naked for a couple years. And then when they start asking you why, it's, they're doing outlandish stuff. He goes to Hosea and he says, there's a hooker over on the corner. I'm going to need you to go marry her and have kids.
And stay married to her.
And stay married to her. And love her.
And love her even as she's hooking.
Yeah.
Even as she's hooking.
Yeah. And you know what all those guys have in common? When God told them to do something, they said yes.
Right.
And then you come to the book of Jonah where he says, "Hey Jonah, I just need you to go simple. I don't need you to eat poop. I don't need you to marry hookers. I don't need you to do anything like that. What I need you to do is just go over there and share the gospel with those people
And tell them 40 days.
and tell them 40 days and warn them."
And warn them, yeah.
And he says, "No." No, I don't think I'm going to do that.
That's kind of funny. We don't read about Jonah in the Hall of Faith.
No. He should be there, though.
He should, yeah.
Jesus mentions him.
Yeah, he does, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like he wasn't a real person. The guy had issues.
And it's not like he wasn't someone who struggled.
He's been hurt, dude.
Yeah.
Jonah was hurt by some people that he hated with all of his being.
Yeah. And whatever the Lord told him to do probably sparked up that hate.
He's like, nah, come on.
Come on, God. No way.
What? I mean, look. So which way is Nineveh? That way? Ciao. Goes that
I'm
way.
going that away.
So then he ends up on a boat, and the mariners there's a storm, and it's freaking out, right? And he's just like, "What's going on?" Jonah's like, "It's me.
It's me. If you want this to stop, you gotta throw me.
You gotta throw me overboard. It's me. I'm a Hebrew. I'm a this or whatever. It's me. You gotta throw me overboard." They start worshiping God,
Right.
and then chuck him overboard.
That is so funny.
Dude, it's a great story. I love Jonah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to be a modern day Jonah.
But it's not like the kid story Jonah, right? Where you're thinking, oh, yeah, there's a cool fish, and he ate, and he just got spit up on the... Nah, the guy hated these people. Went on a boat trip, ended up getting swallowed by a big fish. God in his... God. Hilarious. You don't think God has a sense of humor? He put a man in a fish and spit him up on the beach at the place he wanted him to preach. That is funny.
That is kind of funny.
Dude, that's
great.
Funny.
That's a good story.
Heck yeah, that's
a
great
good story. But my own story,
Yeah.
as a modern day Jonah, probably wouldn't be that funny.
No. Nobody would want to hang out with you. Nobody wanted to hang out with Jonah.
I don't want to hang out with you.
I don't blame you.
Does that mean that you're a Jonah?
I don't blame you. Yeah, I'm definitely a modern day Jonah. I'm despised by many. No, that's not true. I'm loved by some.
I'm loved by some, but despised by many.
Oh my gosh. What are we talking? We got This is an interesting subject, discipleship.
It is. So we have been going through the book of, I was going to say Jonah, but John, right? What is it? Bar Jonah? Peter Bar Jonah?
Peter Bar Jonah, son of Jonah.
Son of Jonah. But this is not the same. Well, it's not even the same name, but we've been going through the book of John. And what we're going to talk about is not only discipleship, but how the Lord changes the names of people. Right?
See?
Oh, wow. Speaking the Espanol.
Duh.
This is what happens when you get us on a Saturday morning.
That is true.
Duh. Oh, but you didn't do it right.
Duh.
There you go.
What verse are we in? 25?
35.
35.
Yeah, because we already went through the Lamb of God.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, Jesus calls. Hit it.
So, again, the next day, John stood with two of his disciples and looking at Jesus as he walked, he said, "Behold the Lamb of God." And that was JBT, right? JTB.
You got too hip for me for a second. My brain.
JTB, yeah, John the Baptist.
John the Baptist.
Yeah, JTB. So, yeah, he's saying, yeah, this is the Lamb of God. And then the very next verse right there in 37 says, the two disciples heard him speak. So there's already a couple of people who are listening to him, right?
Yeah.
They're starting to just follow him.
They
and
were
listen to
already
them.
following.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think about discipleship? So what is your... So last night, the lesson was on sponsor and Celebrate Recovery. And I kind of brought it to the place where a sponsor should be more of like a teacher and you're like a disciple. So only because that word sponsor, I'm kind of like iffy about it. Only because of the AA world and because a lot of times these people in AA kind of look at their sponsor as a god. I made sure and to tell people a sponsor is not your God, right? Because there's only one God. And a sponsor should be more of an example of who Jesus is in your life. Because when you need that person, you need someone who's going to be like Jesus to you.
Yeah.
So that's one thing about a sponsor, but even discipleship is... A disciple is a student. And so that student should be able to take in what the sponsor has to say.
Right.
And that is Jesus.
Yeah. Discipleship has been one of those, it's ubiquitous. It's been in every society of all times. What do you think it's, excuse me. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna sneeze.
Is that your Russian?
I'm gonna sneeze.
Is that your Russian?
Oh my
gosh.
No, I think it's my Yiddish.
Swedish.
Oh my gosh.
Yiddish.
I don't know. What do you think what's like a prerequisite for being a disciple?
That's a good question. I would think just someone who listens, someone who is intelligent, someone who would actually wants to learn.
Humility.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of that around us. It's like in Southern California, it seems like there's this idea of I know everything. And even if I don't know, I'm going to pretend like I know so that I don't feel stupid.
I don't think that's just Southern California.
No?
That's
I've met
all
people.
over the place. Listen, yeah, my wife is from New York. And New Yorkers, no matter if you're from, because, you know, if you're from Brooklyn, if you're from the Bronx, if you're from Queens, you have your own language. You have your own slang.
Right.
You have all, dude. I mean, just think of it in that way. Everybody knows everything. Everybody feels like they don't need anybody to help them because I'm in control.
Right.
That's the whole thing. Pride and control is not a good thing if you want to be a disciple.
It's not, and yeah, it's not a good thing. And by the way, you can use the word disciple as a way of saying mentor, coach, whatever, sponsor, somebody who is the example of what you want to be.
Right.
And that requires humility. You have to look at, if you are a fledgling samurai and you want to become a great samurai, you go and you hang out with great samurais.
Right.
Which is, you're saying, I don't know how to use this sword. I don't know how to use the nunchucks. I don't know. That's probably ninja stuff. But I don't know how to use this. I don't know how to use that. I need somebody to teach me. And then you humbly go and you put yourself under their authority and you learn.
Yes.
That is mentor, disciple, whatever.
Right.
So disciple almost has like this religious kind of ancient feel to it.
Well, I mean, it is.
Yeah.
Because when you actually look at it, when you read the Bible, it's like, oh, okay. So a disciple is a student. Someone who is willingly putting themselves under somebody else's shoes. Just like the Apostle Paul, before he became Paul, he was Saul, who was under the teaching of Gamaliel.
Oh, yeah.
So he must have had some sort of humility to be able to want to learn from one of the best teachers of the time.
Yeah, I think you start off with a lot of humility. I mean, When you don't know anything, it's hard to be prideful.
As prideful as he was still humble.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about that because he was the man.
Well, he got prideful because I think he probably surpassed Gamaliel.
I mean, it even says that.
Yeah.
In history, I think it says, was it from Josephus or somebody?
I think Paul said it.
Well,
Paul said it, I think, in Corinthians, where he's talking to, I think, the Corinthians, where he said, yeah, I even surpassed above when he was talking about a Pharisee of Pharisees.
Well, that's Philippians. But, I mean, just think of it. It's even said that Gamaliel couldn't even bring enough books to him.
Oh, right. Oh, Josephus.
It was Josephus, yeah. It was Josephus that said that. That he just loved to learn.
Yeah.
And that there was nothing that he couldn't learn.
And he learned everything he could probably from Gamaliel, however you pronounce
and
his
even
name.
More.
And you can't learn more than your disciple
or your teacher.
Right?
Yeah.
If you become
your sponsor, your coach.
Your coach. I mean, your mentor is going to take you to a certain level. Maybe to the level that he's at. If you have a mentor that isn't constantly trying to better him or herself, then it stands to reason that at some point you could surpass your mentor in understanding and wisdom, in knowledge.
That's where you get that phrase, the teacher becomes the student.
Yes, or the student becomes the teacher.
Yeah.
That's where you get that phrase. But when you're talking about somebody who's following Jesus, ain't nobody going to surpass Jesus in understanding.
Oh yeah, no way. Of course. Especially, getting called out by Jesus. Be like, "Hey, you know what? I see what you're all about. Yeah, you know what? You're a fisherman or whatever. Come and follow me." Tax collector,
right.
Hey, you know what? People hate you. Come and follow me.
Yeah.
Just think of it. And then, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, he even says, I have no place to lay my head, and I'm going to follow you after I'm already collecting taxes and probably taking some profit out of it. I mean, come on. All right, I'm going to go follow you. Where are we going to go?
Right.
How much money do we have?
Right. And then what? So then what did they spend the next few years doing?
Nothing.
We didn't.
No, learning.
Learning, yeah.
They were learning from the one who was the perfect example of what heaven looks like.
Well, that's what's so interesting about discipleship, mentorship, is that you're learning, like Jesus had the book knowledge, right? I'm going to teach you the principles, and then you're going to go do them.
Yeah.
So watch me heal this person here, right? Person healed. Now to the 70 disciples that were following him around, at some point he said, now you're going to go 2 by 2 and go do the same thing.
And go do the same exact thing.
Right? And they're like, okay. And then what do? They return and they go, oh my God, even the demons are subject to us in your name.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, of course.
That's pretty hardcore.
He says, and don't even revel in that. And this is the part of the discipleship part, right? The learning.
Oh yeah, for
right?
sure.
That's awesome. But don't glory in that. Rather, glory that your name is written
in the book of life.
Yeah, in the book of life.
That's crazy.
You're like,
whoa.
Right.
Like, even though the demons were subject to us, we're casting out demons, people are getting saved, people are getting healed. But all I got to worry about is that I'm written.
Dude, it's so amazing.
My name is there.
It's so amazing that you're saved and even written in that book. That it surpasses any work that you could possibly do here.
That's why it's like, it's not about the works.
That's right.
It's not about the works. It's about, how do you say? It's not about the works, but it's about the, I guess it is about the work, kind of, but not about the, what you did about it, what your part was in it. You gotta stay humble. You gotta make sure that what you're doing is in the name of the Lord. Mm-hmm. Because if you're gonna take glory and pride in what you did, that's the opposite of what He wants you to do.
Right. Well, that's and it's, faith and works. It's you do what a discipler is going to teach you, if you follow them and if you're humble, is they're going to teach you that your actions are in direct relation to your beliefs.
Yes.
Right. So we say, I believe that if I step out on the freeway right now, I'm going to die. That belief, because I don't want to die, that belief keeps me from walking into the freeway. It's simple.
Right.
When somebody doesn't believe that their sins offend the God that saved them, they continue sinning.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if you genuinely believed the depths of God's love for you, the punishment that you are looking at, the way that he saved you, if you really believed that you are made in his image and not made for behaving like an animal, then you wouldn't behave like an animal. Right? You would say, well, I mean, I'm tempted to drink until I can't speak anymore, or though I'm tempted to lust after other people, although I'm tempted to be greedy and covet what other people have, that's what people of this earth do. But I'm not of this earth. I'm different.
Right.
And if I'm different, then I shouldn't be doing those things.
Right, exactly. And that's what I love about the Lord, because he just lived that example out in the world. He wants it. He's follow me. What does follow me mean? Do what I do. Mm-hmm. Say what I say. Learn what I'm going to teach you. And so it's amazing, because when I think about that, when I think about my conversion, when I gave my heart to the Lord, I was totally sold out for the world. Mm-hmm. I wanted to do what the world wanted me to do. But then once I learned that Jesus was the example of how to live life, it's like, no, I want to learn that.
Right.
I'd rather learn that, because that's what's going to get me. And it's not selfish thinking. It's gonna produce humility. Mm-hmm. It's gonna produce definitely humility, because if you're gonna learn under somebody, you got to surrender to him, right? Especially the Lord. You're gonna learn so many things. You're gonna learn leadership, because that's what the Lord ultimately wants us to do, is to lead people to him, and to lead people in the ways of righteousness. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you're gonna do, and when I think about it, it's like I'd rather learn something like that, to learn something of life, than to learn something of just destruction and chaos.
Yeah. I look at that. That's discipleship, mentorship scenario that these guys are in with Jesus, as being that which is founded in humility, dependency, and trust. Right? You're asking me, like Jesus walks up, he says, you have a flourishing career as a tax collector. Right? You're doing if you're one of those types of tax collectors, you're probably doing pretty well.
Oh yeah,
for yourself,
for sure.
Right? Like you're balling. And he's saying, hey, follow me.
Stop what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Stop stealing money.
Close the business.
And follow me.
Right. And so the humility is that you have something I need to learn. Dependency is that I need to follow close to you in order to learn it. Jesus says, look, abide in me, or abide in the light, and you will not fall into darkness. What that means is, if Jesus is the light, in order to follow behind him so that you don't stumble in darkness, you have to be close enough to see what he's illuminating.
Right. Like a flashlight.
Like a flashlight or a lantern, right? If you're way back here 100 feet and he's way up there, you're going to stumble.
Yeah.
You got to be close. And then there's the trust. Close the business. Follow me. Everything will be fine. Okay. Jump in and you go. And that's the discipleship part of that, where Jesus is both teaching, showing, and then sending.
Yeah.
That's our life as disciplers, people who are being discipled.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have people that I'm learning from. And this could be predominantly, we're talking about spiritual terms here, but you could have a business mentor, you could have a life mentor, you could have these things, as long as they're...
It is biblical.
It is biblical to have
Two are
a
better
mentor.
than one.
Yeah.
A triple braided cord is not easily broken.
Yeah. It is a biblical thing to have people around you that you're learning from.
Oh, yeah.
Humility. And then, but also doing it. It's funny when they come to Jesus and they go, there's an awful lot of people here, man. And they're hungry.
And they're hungry.
Right? And
we only have 5 fish and 2 pieces of bread.
And Jesus is like, what do you got? 5 fish and 2 pieces of bread. He's like, just feed them with that.
But there's 5,000 people here.
Just men.
Yeah.
Not their kids and their wives.
And their wives.
Holy man. Yeah. Well, what do you guys got? Use what you got is the lesson there, right?
Exactly.
What do you have? Use that. Well, the trust is that if you're telling me to use this and start breaking it into pieces and serving it, the trust is that you're going to do something with it.
Yeah.
And then when you see that he does something with it, it builds that closer bond. Like we had a couple fish and some bread.
Yeah.
There ain't no way this is feeding 8,000 to 10,000 people. No way. But all right, at your word, Lord. Right, at your word. Here we go. Break. You end up with leftovers.
For everybody?
Stop it.
For everybody.
Doggy bags for everybody.
Everybody. They all got a piece.
Satisfied.
Enough.
Yes.
Enough. Just enough.
Yeah.
For them to eat.
No doggy bags? I remember there being some leftovers.
There was some leftovers, yeah. There was some leftovers.
Maybe a little leftovers.
My whole thing about discipleship when I first became a believer, I thought it was some sort of like program. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's interesting.
I thought it was some sort of program that you have to go through and then you're a disciple. That's what I thought in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And so when I asked Pastor Brian Jameson, I was like, I need to be discipled. Disciple me.
What's up, B?
What's up, B? He's not watching this. But then, all he said? He goes, you know what? I don't have any material for you. I don't have like some sort of program for you to go through. He goes, what did Jesus do? And he said, all I want you to do, if you want to be discipled, is just hang out with me. Mm-hmm. Just hang out with me.
Right. We'll do work together.
Yeah. That's all Pastor Brian said. Mm-hmm. He just hang out with me.
Right.
I was like, all right. And so I learned so much from him.
Yeah, right.
I still use the things that he taught me today.
Yeah.
It's amazing because it isn't a program. Mm-mm. The disciples didn't have material that they went through. They didn't have a lesson 1, lesson 2 to go through every single week.
No, right.
They just hung out with Jesus.
There was no graduation for...
Right, exactly.
Maybe they did graduate, but...
Well, yeah, from tax collector to disciple. Yeah, that is a graduation, I guess, in humility.
Right.
Right. I got all this money and I'm stealing from all these people. People hate me, but now people are going to hate me even more because
right. Yeah.
I'm going to try to give them life instead of take their money.
Yeah.
Take their livelihood from them. But, I mean, just think of it. That's how I learned of what a disciple or a spiritual mentor is.
Right.
Not only an example of Jesus, but saying, hey, you know what? I don't have any material for you to go through. Just watch my life.
Right.
Watch what I do. Do what I do. And that's what Jesus did.
That's what Jesus did. He prayed a lot.
Oh, yeah. And there was multiple times where he just went to a mountain alone just to pray.
Yeah, and you notice in the book that he doesn't say, he's not always constantly badgering or trying to coax these guys into praying with him. He's just like going on. He's doing his thing. I'm doing my thing. I'm going to do my thing. I do my thing really well. If you want to learn from me, hang out with me.
Yeah.
Right? So, and at some point, they do that. Where he's running off. He's praying constantly, and eventually they come to him and they go, "Hey, teach us how to pray."
How do I pray?
How do I pray?
Yeah. Well, you pray like this.
Right.
Father, Lord in heaven,
Right.
hallowed be your name.
Yeah, so it's like you see them do, or you see him, the example of him, and then you go, "Oh, I want to do that."
Yeah.
How do I do that? Humility, dependency, trust. You do it like this. Okay, cool. Then you go do it. You see the results, and you go, "Oh my gosh, that's amazing."
Yeah.
Right? It's like, it's no wonder, even after Jesus dies, is raised from the dead, and ascends into heaven, there's no wonder why these guys continue to live these lives. Because they watched, they learned, they did.
You're not going to live your life the way they did for a lie.
No. Well, no, they witnessed all the things that they witnessed. Now, the stories we don't have, like from guys like Bartholomew,
Oh, man.
whatever happened to Bart?
Matthias?
Matthias or Matthias? Whatever happened to Matthias? Dude? It's like,
He got chosen, right?
yeah, right. It's like that old, he's the old Mitch Hedberg bit. He says, when you're at a restaurant, and he says, Dufresne, party of four. Dufresne, party of four. But they don't answer, so then the guy moves on. He goes, Thompson, party of three. Thompson, party. He's like, hold on. Well, what happened to the Dufresnes? Nobody concerned about the Dufresnes? What happened to Bart? Matthias. Those guys.
I mean, just look at Stephen's life.
What happened to the Judas, not Iscariot?
Right. Before.
How would you like to be known as Judas, not Iscariot?
Man.
You don't even have a last name of your own. You're compared to the guy who didn't sell Jesus out.
Oh, man. I mean, just think of the radical change. I mean, just like you said, the stories that we don't hear. Mm-hmm. Just imagine the things that Stephen heard.
Oh, my gosh.
He was a server, like a waiter, serving tables.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden you hear of him just preaching the gospel to the religious leaders.
Dude, he handled it.
Like a man. And he went out like a man. He even said, you know what? I see the Lord and he's standing. Mm-hmm. And I love that.
Yeah.
Because it's like when the Lord is ready to receive one of his own into his kingdom, he's going to be standing for us.
Yeah, Stephen was that example of a disciple that is full of the Spirit.
Sold out.
Sold out.
Sold out to the Lord.
And that's like when we're talking about being a disciple, surrounding yourself with people that are better at stuff than you, but also from a spiritual standpoint, surrounding yourself with guys that exude that quiet power. It's weird. I've only known a handful of guys in my whole Christian life. I am not one of those guys currently who, when you meet them...
How dare you?
Well, when you meet them, what I mean is when you meet them, you recognize there's something very different about this guy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really, great. Like, there's something really great about this guy. I need to get to know him.
And that's what... in the recovery ministry or whatever, I get that a lot, or I used to get that a lot when I was more of a servant instead of the leader. Mm-hmm. It's like when people would be like, "Hey, I want you to sponsor me," right? And it's like, "I want what you have,"
right?
I'm like, "Well, I really don't have anything but Jesus." Mm-hmm. And if you want what I have, then what you really need is Jesus.
Right. Which is then you become the physical embodiment of Jesus.
Right.
Right, to that guy.
Right, exactly. But what you really want to do is just lead them to Jesus.
Did that sound new agey?
Yeah, they might see they might see something in me that they want.
Right.
But what I have is Jesus, and that's what I'm going to lead them to.
Right. Follow me, hang out with me.
Yeah, because you're going to learn the things that I learned from the Lord.
Yeah. Understanding, like in your particular case, it's like understanding addiction and understanding what it is to be drunk or high out of your mind. Like out of control. Like I think people can recognize that more in being drunk than, let's say, if they smoke weed or if they're even like meth. Even meth being the demonic chemical that it is.
You need to stop messing around, bro.
I know, man. But when you do it initially, you don't feel like you're out of control. You feel like you have more energy.
You feel like you have more control.
Like more control, which is the deception part.
Right, exactly.
So that's why alcohol is the better example, because everybody knows what it's like to get too far gone and you lose control. You can't walk straight. You can't talk straight. You can't think straight. Ain't nothing going right. That's what it means to be almost like possessed state.
Oh, yeah.
Out of control.
Unmanageable.
Yeah, it's so bad, in fact, that if a cop pulls you over and says, hey, man, stand there, put your head up, touch your fingers to your nose.
Walk this line.
You, at the threat of jail,
I know.
you still can't do it.
But you're still trying.
You're trying.
I'll be like, you know what? I give up. I'm not doing this. Just put me in the back of the police car.
And that looks so contrary to the nature of God. Looks so contrary to control and discipline that's what makes that sin. That you're under control of something other than the Spirit of God. When you finally meet somebody who's driven, empowered by, and possessed by the Spirit of God, driven in love, a life resulting in peace and patience and kindness, all those things we're always talking about, then you're meeting somebody special. You should really attach yourself onto that person if you can and learn from that person.
Oh, yeah, for sure. When I see the word disciple, I think of discipline also. Someone who is disciplined by somebody else.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
That's what I see. I mean, it kind of sounds the same, right? Disciple, discipline. Because you really have to discipline yourself if you really want to learn.
What is that? What is the Greek word for disciple? Is it
it's not diakonos. Is it diakonos?
No, it's mathetes. A learner.
Oh, no,
disciple or pupil.
Deacon. I was thinking deacon.
Diakonon. Yeah, this is mathetes.
Okay.
So a learner, disciple, or pupil.
Yeah, student.
Logos Bible software.
Oh, I love that.
Boom.
You got the new version? The new.
I got whatever version's on my phone. I don't know if it's new or not, but I hold down the word and it tells me the Greek word. I'm a word guy.
You're a word. So am I.
Yeah. So mathetes is a learner, disciple, pupil, or a student. Because if you want to learn how to blacksmith, if you want to learn how to do quality tattoos, if you want to learn how to do any of that, you sit beside somebody who is a rock star at those things.
Oh, for sure.
And learn from them.
Definitely.
And the problem we have in our society today is I sit down with you for 2 weeks, I learn some simple fundamentals, and then I think I'm better than you.
Right. Now I'm going to teach you.
Oh, yeah. Hey, bro, what happened to using that technique I taught you last week? Oh, well, I found a better way. Like, oh, okay, well, then you're not my disciple anymore, bro. Because you do it my way until you can consciously and until you can competently do it on your own, or you hit the bricks.
Right.
I'm not interested in wasting my time if I'm gonna teach you all stuff it took me 30 years to learn.
And you already learned it in a day?
Yeah, and you already know it. You know what that is, dude? Do you know what that is? That's freaking Anakin.
Yeah.
Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, I already know that.
He won't let me. He won't let me go. I'm so really good at this. Anakin.
Let me race.
It was like, even from like when he whined less when he was a kid. When he got older and he was being discipled.
Oh, man, yeah. Young Padawan.
Because he was stronger than Obi-Wan.
He was stronger than them all. He was the guy.
Yeah, he was stronger than all of them.
He was supposed to be the guy. The prophecies foretold him.
Well, that's what led him to pride.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, well, I'm I'm so good. I don't know why they won't let me. Like, God, dude, why can't you just learn until they're ready to release you into the world?
Right.
Just humble yourself.
What a brat.
He's such a brat, dude. And it didn't get better.
It reflected off his son too. Mm-hmm. Then he got prideful too in the end.
Dude. Luke?
Yeah.
Luke can't stop whining. 3 movies you listen to him whine. So irritating.
And even in the end. When he finally gave himself up.
Yeah.
He's like, I should have done this a long time ago.
I should have done this a long time ago. Regrets. Humble yourself, man.
Humble yourself, fool. That's a great example of what not to do as a disciple.
Dude, that's a great example. You know what happens is you get these guys, 2 weeks later, they think they're walking on water.
But then as the teacher, you can't get to your head either.
No, of course not. Because your teacher is so far above you.
Yeah.
Now, if you're being mentored or discipled by somebody that you want to be like, and he's being discipled by somebody he wants to be like, however high that ladder goes, Jesus is at the top of that ladder.
He should be.
Right.
He should be, not himself.
Right.
Or what he has learned or what he wants to teach.
Right.
As not Jesus, but the person.
The person below him.
Yeah. You have to be able to be, humble. I mean, that's the whole thing about being the teacher and a disciple's humility.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to teach someone, you have to be in a place where it's not going to make your head bigger.
Yeah, knowledge can't puff up.
And if you're the student, you have to be humble enough to want to learn.
Humility is required.
Yeah, definitely.
Humility, discipline.
So as a prerequisite of even a teacher or a disciple, it's humility, definitely.
Yeah. There's a lot of positive. Somebody who's walking by the Spirit is going to be the best discipler.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody who sets a bar high. It says, Paul said, imitate us as we imitate Christ.
Yes.
And I have a feeling, dude, long road, you're going to go down this long road because we're men and we want to learn disciplines and show me how disciplines is. And I got to wake up at this time. I got to do this and this and this and this, which is essentially my life anymore. I'm a pretty disciplined guy. I try to be.
Right.
It falters, but I'm getting better at being disciplined, which is a quality of walking in the Spirit. And I'm becoming more loving as a quality, which is more of a quality walking in the Spirit.
So when you told me you hate me, you didn't really mean it?
No, I meant it in the most loving of ways.
I love that, dude.
So I have a feeling that this long road to like discipleship, the biggest lesson we're going to learn when we see Jesus is I should have prayed more.
Probably.
Yeah.
Lord, help me right now because, anything. Like, Lord, I need you. Like, any time that I need the Lord, you should pray. Even when you're learning from somebody, Lord, please help me because I think I know better. Like, one of the guys at Celebrate Recovery, the first day, he's like, you know what? I sized you up. Because I thought I was better than you. Mm-hmm. But then once you got up there and taught, he goes, I'm not even near you.
That's funny. I had the same conversation with the same dude a month ago.
Oh, you know who I'm talking about?
God bless you, brother, if you're watching.
Love you, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's like, yeah. I mean, he was humble enough to say, you know what? I need to be here. That's
so what's interesting, right? The quality of that self-awareness from dude. Right? Like, I know, like, from time to time, I can get into a mindset of covetous.
Yes.
Right? I want that dude's job. I want that guy's business. I want that guy's house. I want that guy's car. I can become very dissatisfied with my current life, which is basically saying what God has given me right now isn't enough.
Right.
Right? And so I can get that way. So when Guy said that, I was like, man, that is a mature... Right? To be able to say, oh, yeah, my issue is I size everybody up.
Right.
And see where I'm at.
Yeah.
And you're like, yes, if you do that, it's hard to humbly put yourself under anybody's teaching.
Right. Oh, for sure. If you think if your mindset is, oh, I'm going to size you up because I'm better than you, you're not in the right spot. But if you're going to size somebody up and then say, oh, I'm not better than you, and I want to learn from you, it's something completely different.
Yeah. I've been around, you've been around too. I mean, I think maybe they're not the same people, but I mean, we've been around people where we definitely knew more and were more gifted in a particular area than they are. Mm-hmm. I've been in those positions. And if you're in those positions, you're in the wrong position. Because if you're supposed to be following this person and yet you're head and shoulders above them in skill or in talent or whatever, you need to find somebody that is that much higher than you. Your disciple or your mentor should be a goal to reach.
Right.
He should be putting pressure on you to get better.
That's what accountability is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should be in a constant state of achieving and reaching the goal of the guy that you're following.
That's crazy because when you say that and I think of Paul, it's like,
yeah, high bar.
He was very high bar. I mean, he was still humble enough to accept the books from Gamaliel, you know? Like, he still wanted to learn. That was his teacher. Mm-hmm. Even though he surpassed him, he still wanted to learn from him.
And
because knowledge. So there's a quote from the Terry Goodkind books. Mm-hmm. Knowledge is a weapon, and I intend to be formidably armed.
Oh, yeah. That's a good quote.
Great quote, dude.
Yeah.
I love that, and I use it all the time. And it's true. But if you're someone like Paul, and all you have is knowledge, I mean, man, to be able to want to learn something else other than that knowledge.
Right.
Yeah, you're getting all the knowledge. You're getting the books. You're learning so much. But then it's more than just that knowledge, even though that knowledge is great.
For sure.
And then wisdom is the practice of knowledge, is the acting of knowledge. But I'm thinking the reason why he stood with Gamaliel so much is because of the life. He probably wanted to learn from him, like what his life was like.
Sure.
It was more than just the books. It was life.
It was life. Yeah, and I think that's what you're trying to get from any mentor or discipler, right? You're trying to be like, how can I walk in that kind of peace? How can I walk in that kind of power? How can I walk in that kind of joy?
Yeah.
How can you...
It's like, I know how to do it.
Yeah.
Show me.
Pray more.
Right. I want to practice it.
Yes.
And this person is going to show me how to practice it.
Yeah.
Like, I know how to do it.
Right.
I just need to learn how to do it.
Yeah. And you need to have
humility, dude.
It's humility.
Man.
Humility, dependency, trust.
Yeah.
If you have those three things in the person that is your discipler, then you have a good thing.
A great thing.
You know,
especially if that teacher, disciple, or whatever you want to call it, spiritual mentor, is humble enough to teach you.
And good enough, right? It's like if you have a mentor and you're not humble or dependent and you don't trust the person, then when he tells you to show up somewhere at a particular time and you don't, then you need a different mentor or you need to get over yourself.
Right. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I took that.
No, I mean, if you're going to say, hey, you know what? You want to learn how to practice this skill? Let's go and do it. All right, meet me here at this time, and then you don't show up because you're already doing something on the other corner.
Right.
That's not cool. Mm-mm. Not at all. Because then you're like, all right, I've already learned enough from you.
Right.
Now I'm going to go do what I want instead of learning from you.
Oh, yeah. I see versions of that, dude. Versions of that are everywhere. I see, like, because I run a service business, and so in that service business, there's no shortage of guys that come along, they have no idea how to run a business. Zero. They're like technicians or they're inspectors for a year or two, and then they think, oh, I could do this. Your job ain't that hard. I'm going to go start my own company. You're like, okay, bro.
All right, peace out, dude.
Like, if you hung out and grew with the company, I would teach you how to run it.
Yeah.
And then if you wanted to start off, if you wanted to go franchise, I'd get you a franchise. Or if you wanted to start your own business, then I'd wish you good luck and have at it. But instead, they go, oh, yeah, man, I've been at this enough. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I worked here for a year.
I worked here for a year.
I know how you work.
Yeah, I'm
going to go do it myself.
I see you. What you're doing doesn't look that difficult. I'm almost certain I could do it better.
Yeah, all I see you is just sitting around, on your computer. I can do that.
Yeah. What's so hard about that? I could do that. And so then they go off and they start their business. Next thing you know, and you know who you are out there. Next thing you know, you're out there and you're dropping prices like crazy because you can't sell stuff because you don't know what you're doing. And then you go, I can do this job for $600. Next year, you'll be broke as a joke and looking for another job.
You take out the loans.
Go deep in debt.
You go deep in debt because you thought you knew better.
Because when somebody said, hey, how's your cash flow? You looked at them like they're like, what? What's cash flow? Can I look at your profit loss statement? And they're like, what's that? You're like, oh, so you don't know jack about any business stuff. What the hell are you doing out here? That's when pride comes back and just bites you.
Oh, for sure.
Because if you got a good discipler, like all the guys that work for us now, if they would do great work and show commitment to the career, we'll teach them everything they need to know about running the business. It's not gonna be tomorrow. It's gonna take time.
Oh, for sure.
But if you hang in there, we'll teach you. It's not like we want to hide that stuff. If you want to start your own business, I can give a damn. I'll help you do it. There's plenty of work for everybody. There's no mindset of scarcity for me. I'm like, there's plenty of houses with plenty of termites, plenty of people to do the work.
This is my business.
This one's my business, but you can go start your own business.
Right.
I'm not going to hate
that
you for
mindset,
Right.
This is my business. You can't do it.
Right.
Because it's mine.
Some guys are territorial. They don't want you to know the numbers. They don't want you to know how to run it, right? But I'm not like that. Like, if you show that you're doing your job really well and you want to learn more, I'll teach you more.
Oh, for sure.
I want you to get better at life.
Yeah.
And that I think that's what mentors do is they go, I want whoever is going to put themselves humbly under the teaching that I'm providing, whether it's in business or it's in spiritual leadership or whatever it is, or discipleship. I want to take you from point A to point B, wherever that point B is. I'm going to be accountable to my mentors. The people that put themselves under your teaching need to be accountable to you. Here's where I'm going to be. If we agree that we're going to meet somewhere at a particular time at a particular place, I expect that you're going to be there. And if you're not there, then you're just showing that you don't want to participate.
Right.
Which is cool. But I got, me lately. It's like I got a lot of stuff going on, right? So it's like I'm so protective of my time. I'm like trying to go, okay, I got this. Cats pee on couch. I go, hey man, I can do Saturday. I could do Saturday 9 a.m. Can we do Saturday 9 a.m.? Like, this is what I got.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like if we can do that and everything goes well, it's a disciplined life. But I think that's what the disciples are learning from Jesus. As they follow him, as they humbly and dependently put themselves under his teaching, and they trust that he knows what he's doing. And they go, all right, let's.
What does John say at the end of his gospel? That the libraries in the whole world couldn't even contain the things that Jesus talked about. I mean, think of it, just how much they learned from him. And I'm a firm believer that when the Apostle Paul went to Arabia in the mountains, I believe that he, for the 3 years that he was up there, that he learned from the Lord. The same amount of time that the other apostles were with the Lord.
Yeah. Well, you imagine what you were talking about earlier is his knowledge.
Yeah.
All this knowledge upon knowledge upon knowledge. The guy was brilliant. And then as you're talking, I was thinking, then you take that knowledge and you combine that with the Spirit of God, and you go, that's why you get to write
3/4
of the New Testament.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, just imagine how radical Paul was, or Saul was.
Radical.
He was a Pharisee of Pharisees. He was a Hebrew of Hebrews, not only in nationality, but in language. Mm-hmm. He was the guy. He was the one that was holding the robes of the people that were stoning Stephen. I mean, just imagine this guy. From one radical view to another radical view. Instead of, he was on his way to go kill Christians.
Yeah, he was on tour.
And boom. Radical change. Just imagine that. Just that knowledge. Mm-hmm. And the Spirit of God. Man, how powerful that guy was.
Well, you just imagine him sitting in Arabia, like you were just saying?
Yeah.
And then him going through all the knowledge that he had of the scriptures.
And then interpreting it.
And then going, well, what about this?
Lord.
Well, what about this?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah. And Jesus is sitting there going, yeah, that's me too.
Yeah.
That's me. That's me.
I know.
That's me.
Man.
It's all me. And Paul's sitting there going,
refreshed.
Of course it's you.
Instead of that burden of having to live the law, because he did.
Sure.
He lived it to the T, jot and tittle, and then getting that burden lifted off.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Right. That's right.
That's humility. From up here to down here.
That's humility. And the one thing that Paul didn't have, as he was just had all this knowledge combined with the Spirit, he still needed somebody to come alongside of him and bring him into the group.
Oh yeah.
Right? So Barnabas was there. Maybe not as smart, but Barnabas is a stud in his own right.
Barnabas.
Bar
as in son, and then nabis as exhortation. So son of exhortation.
Son of exhortation. So he goes along Paul and he says, come on, man, I'll vouch for you.
Exactly what his name means.
Yeah. Right? And so
he was exhorting him.
So, and that is a form too. Then he travels around with Paul until they part ways. They travel around. Paul learns from Barnabas. Here's how we do things around here.
And then Silas learns from Paul.
And then Silas learns from Paul. And Timothy learns from Paul.
Yeah.
A lot of people learn from Paul. And then they're all going their way. And arguably, just because Paul is going throughout doing his missionary journeys, and we got Peter and the main players, you also have all the minor players that are still discipling people.
Yeah.
Teaching people. Raising people up and teaching them how to pray. Do all those things.
And the Romans built the roads for them to do it.
And the Romans That's an interesting note. Did they build the road specifically for them to do it?
No. But because of the roads that were built, they were able to do it. Even further.
Oh, yeah. See? Right time, right place. God knows.
God knows.
God knows. So I guess what's the moral of the story then?
God changes names.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we got a couple minutes to do on name changes.
So what do you have on that?
Do God changes the names of people
from Saul to Paul? Of course, Saul is his Hebrew name, and then Paul was his what is it called? Greek name.
I think name changes in throughout the whole book is indicative of a changed nature.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. I think you're just not once you're made spiritually alive, you're just not the same person.
Once you're quickened.
Yeah, you're different.
Yeah.
Or at least you should be different. You are different. You are like 90% animal and like, I don't know, 10% divine spark.
So
like you have the Spirit of God in you.
From Cephas to Pebble.
Yeah, from Cephas. What's Cephas? Is that a...
I forget what Cephas means, but I know
From-
Peter.
Peter mean Petros? Means
Petra.
rock?
Meant pebble.
Is it pebble?
It was more of a pebble.
Like a little...
Like a little guy.
Like you won't die by getting hit by it, but it'll be super annoying.
Yeah.
That's about right.
Who else got their name changed?
Well, Jacob.
Well, yeah.
To
I mean,
to
come on.
Israel. Abram to Abraham.
Abram to
Sarai
Abraham.
to Sarah. They're not big name changes, but they mean stuff.
But it meant the change of nature.
Mm-hmm. It's a change of nature.
A change of nature. Because Sarah means princess, and Sarai... I forgot what Sarai meant. But...
What you'd like to see is that dude Judas, not Iscariot, get his name changed.
Oh, man.
Because that sucks.
But we would never see that.
No. Dude, if you were him, and...
He's like, you're no longer Judas, but you
Right.
are...
Dude, I'd be begging for a name change.
Right?
Jesus, come on, man. Come on, Jesus, please.
Come on, you changed his name to Pebble.
Right. You changed Saul to Paul.
You changed Saul to Paul.
I need a name, dude. I'm associated now with this dude. My name is Judas, not Iscariot. That sucks.
Yeah. that's a sucky name, Judas Iscariot.
That dude's name, we don't know. We hope we got
The
hey,
son of perdition.
we're hoping his name
Ooh.
got changed. Let's assume that guy's name got changed.
Something worse.
No. Well, son is Judas Iscariot. That's his name.
Yeah.
But Judas, not Iscariot. How he's known in the Gospels. Then you go, okay, that Judas, because there's two Judases. Mm-hmm. Right? You
Yeah.
never hear the Judas, not Iscariot, because him and like Bartholomew and a couple
Oh,
other
yeah.
these guys are like in the shadow somewhere. They don't give a rip. They had nothing better to do than to follow Jesus. Is that what I'm getting?
That's all they had in life.
They're the homeless guys sitting on the corner, and they're like, "Hey, can we follow you?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." I'm gonna put all my energy into these three, though, if you don't mind.
Peter, James, and
I'm
John.
gonna put all my energy into these three, and this guy over here is gonna sell me out. So that's
Hey, Thomas, you know what? Good luck doubting everything that I say.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you're still over there.
You're welcome to hang out if you want to see what happens, but I got.
That's funny. And messed up at the same time.
It's funny and messed up. They go, yeah, well, Jesus changed the world with 12 people. I'm like, he changed the world with like 3 people.
Yeah. I was over there sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
Keeping the bench warm for the bench warmers.
3 people and 1 jerk. You know, the other 7 people, 8 people. Yeah, the other 8 people were. What were
Philip had a good mission.
Philip went on to do something pretty good. Philippi. He had a good missionary journey. He worked.
Yeah, he converted the Ethiopian, right?
Yeah. He was on. That was a. Dude, that's an episode in itself.
And then he got transferred out of that place.
Oh, yeah.
And then we never hear from him again.
Oh, that'll be in our teleportation
That's
episode.
crazy, dude. I mean, if you read Ezekiel, I went, the Spirit took me, right?
Right.
From this place so I could see what's happening over here.
Yeah.
Just imagine that.
The naturalist.
You're Philip. You're traveling on a freaking camel through the desert to Ethiopia. You preach the gospel to one guy. He gets converted, and all of a sudden you're gone.
Then you're out.
And you're out, and then you never hear from this guy again until you hear about his daughters. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, prophetesses. Yeah.
And that's the last time you hear of anything about the guy.
Which is cool. I bet you had a long ministry.
A long ministry.
It's not all about the fame and fortune.
Right?
You know, you don't have to be named in every book. You just have to do your thing.
My whole philosophy for Celebrate Recovery is I'm not there just for one person, but I will be there for one person.
Yeah. Yeah, it's perfect. And as a mentor, discipler, or whatever you want to call us, it's you're gonna affect lives, and not every life is going to be revolutionized. Some lives are gonna be prideful. Other people are gonna go on and do remarkable things, and they're going to affect other lives by what you sow into their lives. And then, so your influence may go on generations.
Yeah.
People don't even know you.
That's why when people say, I want what you have, it's like, you know what? All I have is Jesus.
you want exactly what I have, then you have to go down the road that I went down. It's just not a great road. I can show you how to get there without that much pain.
Yeah. I can bring you pain.
I mean, what do you want to,
Snap into a Slim Jim.
I normally would get that when somebody says, hey, man, you seem to have like so much peace. I want what you have. And genuinely, I'm really trying to experience that love and peace in my life, no matter what the circumstances. But they're only looking at a fraction. They're looking through a very cloudy window at a moment in time.
Right.
When I feel peaceful.
I was about to say that. Because, you want what I have, which is peace right now. But guess what? The only reason why I have this peace is because I'm struggling right now.
Yeah.
I'm going through it right now. And what you see in me is what is happening at the moment. The reason why I have so much peace is because the Lord is giving it to me right now because I'm going through crap.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And you don't see me the other moments of my day when I'm freaking out.
Yeah. You see the peace right now, but 5 minutes ago, I was curled up in a ball, crying in a corner, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
When people say that, I want what you have. Yeah, you really want what I have? Well, then you're going to have to walk the road that I'm walking
Walk
right
the road,
now.
man. I'll be here every day at 7 or whatever,
Every Friday at 7, you'll hear.
They go, hey, man, you look like you're in good shape. How do I get in good shape with you? I'm like, you can meet me at the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Well, just walk with me the way, my week was, and you'll experience the same things that
You
I'm
want what
feeling.
we have, you walk the way we walk.
Yeah.
And then they go, 5 o'clock.
5 a.m.?
5 a.m. What time do you have to get up to be at the gym at 5 a.m.? I can get up at 4:30.
It makes sense.
Right? I get up before 5. I got to get to the gym, right? So I get
I'm
up
there
at
at
4:30.
5, so I'm there at...
So that's it. And then I go and I pray and I read and I go
Beat myself
and
up.
then I go to work. And I slug it out there for from somewhere around between 7 to 5:30, 6 o'clock. And then I put Halo stuff away and I open up the other projects that I'm working on.
Yeah?
And it's like, it's nonstop.
Yeah, nonstop.
And hopefully throughout the day, I'm reminding myself, pray, love people,
Humility.
serve, be humble. Because that is, when it hits the fan is when the prayer needs to come immediate.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hey, before I make a decision on this, let me calm myself down, do a little bit of breathing, pray, and ask for wisdom. And Jesus prayed a lot. And he is still our discipler. And if we're going to be anything like him, it's going to be a result of doing the things he did.
Exactly the way he said it, too.
Yeah.
He says, if you're going to pray, don't be like the Pharisees with their vain repetitions.
Yeah.
They're loud in their prayers. People notice them. Right?
Hypocrites.
Hypocrites. And that's their reward. Is eye service.
Yep.
And people pleasers. But then he says, but you go into your closet where nobody's going to hear you, nobody's going to see you, and the Father is going to give you your reward in secret because you pray in secret.
Well, that's the passage, though, is, and you pray in secret, and he rewards you openly.
Openly, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're like,
It's like prayer, you have to pray.
yeah.
If anything, if you're a teacher, if you're a discipler, that's probably one thing that I always tell somebody is pray.
Pray. Because prayer is that connection, divine connection to God. It is that relationship of spending time with him. And then when you feel like your flesh, when you feel like you're just lusting after stuff and getting greedy and flying off the handle, getting angry all the time, doing all that stuff, then you add into that prayer fasting.
That's funny. I just got a text right now from Daniel. Remember Daniel?
Yeah.
He says, "Hey, bro, I need a favor. I need 1 day of your time after the 19th. I need you to fast with me."
Yeah. Yep. Because sometimes
I just got that right
that is
now.
funny, dude. Right, Daniel?
Daniel, hopefully you're watching this, bro.
Heck
but
yeah, man.
I got that text, dude.
Got that text just now as the word fasting came out. Because as believers, we understand that there's a dichotomy between the spirit and the flesh.
Yes.
And if you allow your flesh to get too strong, it will smother the spirit. Sometimes you got to suffocate the flesh.
You got to murder your flesh.
You got to murder your flesh. That means starve it, starve it, starve it.
Even if it means not eating.
Yeah, that's exactly what it means. Don't eat, because then you're telling your flesh, I'm in charge here. Mm-hmm. I dictate what we do today, not you.
Right.
Right? The Spirit is in charge. I am going to do what I want. We are going to live in mission, on purpose, pursuing the vision that God has for us. We're not going to live in greed and lust and anger and envy and all those other things. We're not going to do it. And if you continue to put pressure on me to do it, then I'm going to starve you to death. That's
what the Apostle Paul says, right? Mortify the flesh.
That's a good word.
Mortify.
Yeah.
That's a great word.
Yeah. Like that word.
Bam.
Mortification.
Mortification. And it doesn't mean like asceticism. You know what asceticism is, right?
Isolating yourself from the world or whatever.
Or beating yourself up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cat o' nine tails, whipping yourself.
Like that movie, I don't remember Tom Hanks movie. I forgot what it's called, but what is it called? I forgot what it's called, but one of the guys was beating himself up.
Oh, yeah. Well, Martin Luther used to do that.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. Martin Luther would have a stray thought about a woman or something, and then he would go straight to the cat o' nine tails and start whipping himself.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Before he understood what grace was. But look, man, you got to do what you got to do to put the flesh down.
Oh, yeah.
Because you let the body start running stuff.
I'm done.
It's chaos.
Yeah, I'm done.
It's chaos, dude.
I'm done. If I let my anxiety rule my life, I'm done. If I let my depression rule my life, I'm in a dark place.
Right.
If I let my anger, if I let my lust, if I let anything rule my life that's part of my flesh, I'm done. And I don't need Jesus. But what I do need is Jesus in those moments.
Right. And the more you allow your flesh to be in charge, the dimmer that spirit becomes. That
Jesus gets, yeah.
The more distance you get. It's like we were talking earlier about following Jesus as the light, and you will not stumble. That requires you to be close to Jesus. But when you allow your flesh too much control, distance happens.
I want to be in the light as you are in the light.
Yeah.
I want to shine like the stars in the heavens.
Oh, Lord, be my light. Be my salvation. Yeah, I like that.
All I want is to be in the light.
Did we listen to DC Talk in the car just last weekend?
You did?
Yeah, of course.
Man.
All DC Talk.
Dang.
Heck to the yeah. I said heck to the yeah.
You did say that. That's kind of funny. That's old school. Heck to the yeah. Kids do not say that stuff anymore. They'll probably laugh at us. They're probably laughing at us right now.
No, they don't. As soon as I said it, I thought, crap, man, that was like a 60-year-old thing to say.
Heck to the yeah.
Heck to the yeah, man. Crisscross will make you.
Jump. Mac 10 will make you.
Mac 10 will make you.
Daddy Mac can make you.
That'll make. Yeah, man. You know you guys all said that. You're listening to this in your car right now going, everybody said jump when Josh did. Welcome to the 90s.
Oh, man. That's horrible.
Late 80s.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. What's the takeaway here, man?
Humility. To be a discipler or a teacher, to be a student under the discipler, humility. To be a disciple or a teacher is humility.
Humility. Yeah, I'd second that. I'd say, and if you don't have somebody that you are aspiring to be like, i.e., Jesus, or somebody that is closer to Jesus than you are, or somebody that's better at business than you are, whoever, you can find a mentor. Get a good mentor, somebody who's going to be spiritually led mentor that can guide you in the direction. Be humble, dependent, and trusting if they're a trustworthy person.
Yeah.
And then do whatever they tell you to do.
In humility.
For as long as you need to do to get to where you want to be.
Don't just do what they want you to do.
Heck yeah. Anything they ask you to do, just do that. Well, if they're trustworthy, then you got to trust that they're telling you, like...
All right, go rob the bank for me.
No, that's...
And you'll be okay.
But trustworthy, right? Like, God says, everything in the world is yours. Don't eat that tree over there.
Yeah.
Just trust me.
Trust me. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. That's it.
And they didn't trust him, and here we are.
Jerks.
Good. All right. Subscribe, share, like, all that stuff, man. We really appreciate you guys. We're up.
What's your move?
To a couple hundred, I think, downloads a month or something like that.
Make your move, bro.
All right, man.
But one... Oh, you're going to mirror?
I'm just...
You're going to play the mirror game?
Everybody watching this game right now is just, like, beside themselves. They understand. They're like, what are you guys doing? What is this thing?
Yeah. I mean...
This is not a Bobby Fischer play.
It will be.
It won't be. You're coaxing me into playing chess. All right. So...
See, I got him.
All right. See you guys next week. Love you. See you. GOAT out.
GOAT out.